Yo YouTube, what's going on? Today's topic, we're talking about credit score and credit ranges. We're going to talk about we're going to fully unpack what's going on with your credit score and how to actually look at this thing. We're also going to fully unpack this in another 5 minutes. I'm not going to be wasting too much time in order of just talking about this. We're going to get right to the point. If you guys don't know, my name is Angikindslows Senatus, Angie for short. I'm a K-8 principal and a father and a husband, and on this channel I only focus on topics revolving around debt, finances, and strategies you can use to impact your family and move them into the future. If you like topics like that, hit that like button, turn notifications, and you know what? Don't forget to subscribe. Let's get into this. All right, as mentioned, we're just going to be talking about what's going on with the credit scores, talk about all the different credit ranges, and then what we're going to do is talk about where that range falls in terms of the average U.S. American. First, I want to make sure there are a couple of different credit score options, Vantage score, or whatever the case may be, but the Fico score is what's mostly used by banks or other things in order for you to get loans, as also when you apply for credit. So you want to make sure that we're focusing solely on the Fico score for today. And at the end, I'm just going to fully unpack a few tips to help you to make sure that you're able to get yourself out of a poor credit score. All right, listen. The first score we're going to talk about is 580 and below. Listen, if your credit score is in this range, yeah, your credit is doo-doos. And you got some work to do. So at the end of the day, you got to make sure that if anything under 580 is really bad. So you want to make sure that if you're below that 580, that you must have a bunch of delinquencies, maybe bankruptcy, and a whole lot of things that you kind of have to do. And listen, even if you're in that range, it is what it is, but you just gotta make sure that we start creating a game plan to get yourself out of it. To be very clear, 300 to 579 is considered very poor, and about 17% of Americans are in this range. So you wanna make sure that no matter what you do, you get out of that range. The next range we want to talk about is fair. In the fair range, about 20% of people live in that fair range. It's between the number of 580 and 669. The next range that you all need to sit back and focus on is 670 to 739, and that's considered to be good according to Fico. So to be clear, good range is 670 to about 739 points, and about 22% of people live in that range. The next range, which is the range that I'm living in right now, I gotta figure out a way to make sure I get popped over into that 800. But the next range is 740 to 799 points, and about 20% of people live in this very good range. And at this range, you're basically getting the best rates in terms of what you're going to receive in terms of credit offers or mortgage offers or whatever the case may be. The next range, which is that 800 to 850, about 20% of people live in the 800 to the 850 credit score range, and that's the top tier. Now, to be very clear, I want to talk about this. There are a couple of different factors that play into living in certain ranges, where as you get older, you become more credit savvy and your credit score naturally increases. Data has shown that people who are younger have a lower credit score. So you just want to make sure you understand that even if you have a young credit score now, know that you're probably building your credit and you're beginning the process of building that credit. You begin to start showing that you're more credit worthy. All right, so don't feel bad if you don't have a high credit score right now, especially at a young age, because a lot of it is about the age of your credit and how consistently you've been able to make sure that you're paying off your debts and doing what you need to do. All right, so now let's talk about what needs to happen overall in terms of your credit. One, I want to make sure you understand credit is just a factor. Credit is a byproduct of our habits. So in order for you to really move to the next level in terms of your finances, you gotta understand that you gotta figure out what's going on with your debt and your finances and your income. And what will naturally start happening as a byproduct is your credit score will naturally go up. For example, if you are making on-time payments, which is a huge factor in what's going on with a person's credit, then what will happen naturally is that your credit score will naturally go up. You want to make sure that you understand that at the end of the day, you have to be able to use your credit and use it wisely. Also, good debt versus bad debt. We'll talk about that in another video. But at the end of the day, if you have $150,000 worth of credit card debt versus $150,000 in a mortgage or a loan, those are two different types of loans. $150,000 in a mortgage loan is actually not a bad thing. If you understand what I'm saying. Yes, it's debt, but it's different than if you have maxed out $150,000 of max credit card debt on the other side, which means that basically you're overextending yourself and you got to figure out some ways to sort of fix that particular problem. And that's it. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like content like this. As always, stay hungry, stay motivated, stay focused, go and get it.